to a Football Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all, Football Friday, LSU, Tennessee. Saints, Seahawks, massive opportunity for both teams. We are into October, which you all well know by now is my favorite month of the year because of weekends like this. Weekends like this where you have so much on the line. If you're LSU, this is very much an opportunity to say, hey, look, we're better than everybody thinks or thought we were going to be this year. If you're the Saints, this is a get your season back on track and try to dig yourself out of this hole type weekend. So you've also got the my goodness, you got MLB playoffs starting this weekend. So much going on. So excited about it, man. Excited about a good weekend. We did find out from Brian Kelly, Garrett Dellinger is going to play. He'll have the cast on his hand. For the Saints, it looks like Jameis and Mike Thomas are both going to be out. We'll find out later today when the injury report comes out. The Friday practice report, injury report comes out. But not practicing yesterday, pretty clear indicator those guys are not going to be available this week, which is a bummer for such an important game. But hey, man, 11 a.m. Saturday in Tiger Stadium, noon in the Dome on Sunday. We will know by, mid-afternoon, both Saturday and Sunday, the Tigers and the Saints sort of lot this season. So anyway, I will say some good mornings. Y'all know the drill. Fire away if you got anything. Love to get your questions in, all your comments. Quick reminder, today from 11 to 2, it's our Hudco tailgate party. So if you're hanging out, we'll be at Bowie Outfitters. So Bowie on Perkins from 11 to 2. Hot Rod, Roddy Beloso from Hot Rod's Creole will be cooking up a jambalaya. Keep saying that, sorry. Gumbo. It will be gumbo, not jambalaya. Gumbo. So come get some free gumbo. We'll have ice chests with cold drinks. We'll have some beer if that's what your flavor is. Someone's going to win a $250 Bowie gift card. Someone's going to win an autographed Patrick Queen football. So come on by, put your name in, and hope to see y'all out there, man. I'll be out there. Terry will be out there, so we'll look forward to seeing y'all. All right, let's see. Brian Amanda Guidry, Kelly Gross. Hey, Dad, good morning. Ryan, I won't sleep tonight. Can't wait until 11 a.m. tomorrow. Quentin Brakebill, good morning. I got to meet Quentin Brakebill last night. Very nice to shake his hand and say hello. David Coslin, Will Myers. Who's a bigger thief, Jimbo or Russell Wilson? Hey, man, I don't know if you can call someone a thief because someone had to give them that money. Like, I know what you're saying. I get it. But, like, someone made the decision to pay them that money. So, boy, that was a brutal Thursday night football game. Candidly, I mean, I had Denver and I laid the 3.5. So, I mean, I lost some money on that game, but regardless, I didn't win much. I didn't put like $10 on it, but that was a brutal watch, man. For neither team to score a touchdown in a game that went to overtime, when you have two quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan, that was a brutal watch. Terrible football game. Let's see, Jason H., Jay Reach, Caleb Lemoyne, Jason Mobile, good morning. Bigger dumpster fire, Saints or Broncos. Game last night was ugly. Well, you can't exclude the Colts. I mean, just because they won. I mean, they won, shoot. I mean, if you missed it, the Broncos were up 9-6, and they had the ball nearing the 2-minute warning around the Colts goal. I mean, they're in the red zone around the 10-yard line. And instead of just taking it down to the 2-minute warning, kicking the field goal, going up 6, and saying, yeah, you can't score. We're just going to go up 6 to make sure a field goal doesn't beat us. They throw into the end zone, and Russell Wilson throws a pick. And then the Colts go down, kick a field goal at the horn to send it to overtime. Colts get the ball, kick a field goal in overtime, go up 12-9. Denver starts driving. They stall out in the red zone. They have a chance to kick the field goal tie to extend the game. Instead, they go for it on 4th and 1. And instead of running the ball on 4th and 1, they decide to throw it, and Russell Wilson throws an incomplete pass. It was just awful. It was just a horrible football game. Trivia Carter, Wendell Norman, Rapid Batches, Tim Gotro, Guy Brooks. Good morning. Happy Friday to you as well. Joseph Feltwell, good morning. At least the Saints put on a better show than the Broncos and Colts. Whew. Those of y'all that watched it, man. Whew. Eric, good morning. Just curious, what are the differences between official and unofficial visits in terms of what we can do? Nothing except for, on an official visit, an athlete can only take 5, and the school pays for everything. Pays for your travel, your lodging, your meals, all that stuff. On an unofficial visit, you just show up, right? Like you get there, you handle your own travel, lodging, food, all that sort of stuff, and you just can be on the visit where you have access to the field pregame and football ops. You talk to the coaches, all that sort of stuff. Kyle Milliken, Hilton's out for the rest of the season. Yeah, somebody asked me about that yesterday. Man, I didn't know. I hadn't asked about Chris Hilton. I didn't know he was hurt. So apparently he had a recurring shoulder injury, and so they decided to go have it surgically repaired. So he'll shut it down for the year. You know what? Honestly, the thing for me is, look, of course you'd love to have Chris Hilton and his speed out there, but he was underutilized this year, and it certainly hurts your depth not having him there. But I think that essentially guarantees he'll be back with LSU next year. And I've said this before, but guys, you're going to lose Jure Jenkins. You're obviously going to lose Kayshawn, which means next year you're looking at that trio, right, of Besh, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, really is the dudes, and Malik Neighbors, excuse me, like those guys that came in together last year kind of are your cornerstone next year. So I'm excited to see those guys really take that next step next year. Kyle Milliken, let's see, Tim Gotro, normal time for morning Scone tomorrow with 11 a.m. kickoff. Yeah, I'm sure, Tim. I'll get up, and usually I think on Saturday I wake up around 8 and start Drew's feeding tube and then fire up morning Scone. So I am going to go to Don Juan for the game, though, on Saturday, not just the second half, but for the whole game. So they are open at 11, so if someone's looking for a place to watch the game, they will be open at Don Juan. Hunter Broadhead, Brett DeGrow, morning Scone, plan on cracking open a bottle of Four Raises. Oh, nice. The OESQ, very nice. To celebrate son's Taekwondo promotion, one step away from black belt. Very cool, Brett. We were a Taekwondo family. We trained at Joel Neely's. Dad and my brother both got to black belt. I went from green, I think the levels have changed now, but I went from green 4 to blue 3. So I skipped a level, and then I quit and started playing football. But anyway, man, enjoy that Four Roses. That's phenomenal. The OESQ is fantastic. Caleb Lemoyne, I don't know if it's the LSU fan curse, but I feel we have legitimate shot at beating the Vols. No, well, Caleb, look, the line's 2.5 or 3. ESPN FPI favors LSU in the game. You just have. So, don't let the rankings deceive you. Tennessee has flaws. Now, look, Tennessee has a much better quarterback, and they go fast and they score a lot. But defensively, they're an all or nothing defense. You'll see this. Like, their pressure rate is insane, but they also give up huge plays. They are willing to just come right at you to try to force a turnover or 3 and out, a negative play to get the ball back to their offense. They don't want their offense on the sideline for, 4, 5, 6 minutes of game time. So they try to create negative plays, but in so doing, they also give up a lot of big plays. So you just have contrasting styles in this game, but it's in Baton Rouge. It's a field goal game. You have a shot. Of course you have a shot. Of course you do. And this will be the first, this will certainly be the most hostile road environment, and this will by far be the best defense Tennessee's faced. So we'll learn a lot about them. Trivia, check this out. I'm in a wedding on Sunday in Mississippi after the Saints game, but the rehearsal is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Oh, my God. Y'all people getting married during football season, bro. Chris Proctor, great opportunity for the Tigers. Have to start fast, play loose, and get after Hooker. Yeah, it's a good point, Chris. Interesting tidbit I was reading. I think this was from Bill Connolly at ESPN. Tennessee is one of the fastest starting teams in the country. They outscore their opponent by an average of like I think 10 points in the hang on, I want to get the stat. I think Tennessee outscores its opponent by an average of like 10 or 11 points in the first quarter. Here it is. First half, not first quarter, first half. So first half, Tennessee is plus 20.8. They outscore their opponents by 21 points in the first half. Now, granted, some of that is skewed because you did play two MAC schools, but they outscore their opponents by an average of nearly 21 points a game in the first half. LSU, that's fourth best in the country. LSU outscores its opponent by 6.2% 6.2 points in the fourth quarter, which is 10th best in the country. So Tennessee starts fast, LSU finishes strong. So which we I think intuitively know just from watching the team, but that puts some numbers behind it. So if Tennessee doesn't get out to a big lead, they're in trouble. Like the way that this probably goes is Tennessee gets out to a big lead, Florida State, LSU claws back, but can they get all the way back? That's kind of what the sample size for these two teams tell you how this would go. But if Tennessee doesn't get out to a quick start, man, they could be in trouble. They are in trouble. Chase Pellegrin, how about T-Bob's movie debut? Yeah, T-Bob was on the LSU hype video. He did a great job narrating. It was very theatrical. He did a great job. Jerry DeLucky, morning, Matt. With Denver's offense, I can't believe Murray, president, decided to go there instead of staying with the Saints. Just more of an opportunity, for sure, Jerry, but it's more of an opportunity to be on the field if the Saints are going to stick with Mark Ingram as their number 2. Glenn Crowdis, good morning. I was okay losing this game as Kelly builds this program up, but these Tennessee fans are so full of themselves. I want badly to win to shut them up. Yeah, they'll have their comeuppance this year at some point. Maybe it'll be Saturday. Robbie White, good morning. Did you know that versus SEC opponents, 5-0 Kansas would be favorites at a neutral site against Mizzou and Vandy only, and 1-point dog to Auburn? Yeah, I believe that. I mean, if you watched the Kansas game last week against Iowa State, they probably should have lost. But they won. Good for them for their resilience. But who you play matters a lot, and you always talk about that blue chip ratio, and Kansas ain't close. But I think the big question for Kansas, are you going to be able to keep Lance Leipold, or does he get plucked away? Sean Anthony Berthelot, Matt Ryan's washed up. Yes, he is. Sean Donnelly, good morning. Stole that from RC and loved it. Scone, yeah. Ryan Clark's called me Scone for as long as I've known him. RC and Mac Chuili over Attraction. 2 people call me Scone. Friday with Terry is my favorite day. Friday, no offense. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Let's see. Rocky Jacques, LMFAOTNF. I'm right there with you, brother. I mean, it was that was a brutal watch. Josh DeVilliers, morning, Matt. T-Bob hype video had me wanting to run through a brick wall. Love that dude, and you're awesome as well. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, no, look, he nailed it, man. The one thing, if you haven't seen it, he kind of went like deep South lawyer movie accent, like sometimes the clock call. What was history is a hell of a thing. He went with this whole Southern accent at the beginning, and then he transitioned into just his voice. But it was really good. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Randy Bennett, good morning. Mark Vitanovich, good morning. Arch Manning playing at Bell Chase tonight. Okay. Sean, by the way, shout out to Woodlawn and to Zachary. What a showcase they had last night. Woodlawn and Zachary got to play on ESPNU in a really cool showcase game. So got to see Ricky Collins play last night on on an ESPN network. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool for those local teams. And by the way, they're both non-select schools. Imagine that, public schools that have good football programs when you actually try and put resources behind it. Stunning. Sean Anthony Berthelot, it has to be the Colts are considering quarterback change and put Foles in. Brian Payton, good morning from West Virginia. Okay, dude. Mark, Andy Dalton's an upgrade over Jameis Winston accuracy-wise. I think so. I don't think he's got the arm talent anymore to make those throws, but Andy Dalton's not old. He's only 32. Brad Sonier, need a good old-fashioned recipe for tomorrow morning. You can find plenty of them. Matthew Coon. Gosh, dog, you've told me so many times. I keep forgetting. I need to just write it down phonetically and then memorize it. Kenneth McCown, 2010 Tennessee game was so crazy. I'll never forget being there, seeing that play out. Have you ever seen anything like that before? I mean, yeah, the year before when LSU played at Ole Miss and tried to spike the ball with 1 second left. Which running back will be starting tomorrow morning? Matthew, I mean, I got to say it's Josh Williams. I mean, he got the first run last week. I don't know that there's any reason he won't this week. Stephen Dufour, good morning. Craig Duga, basketball school. It's almost time. Mama Mulkey and Madman McMahon. Stupid. Michael Thacker, watched the final drive of the 2010 Tennessee game. 4 minutes took half my lunch break. CBS plus Miles clock management won't be missed. 4th down timeout after delay of game. Yes. Let's see. Steven Daniels has his best game. LSU pulls the upset 34-28. I think that's the type of game it would have to be. 34-28, 34-31, 37-31, 37-34, something like that. Scott Chauvin, I think LSU will surprise a lot of people tomorrow. Hope so, man. Got to get that passing offense going, though. Kenneth McCown, I'd like to hear a coach that was on staff in 2010 explain what the coaches were thinking at the end of the game. It's interesting we've talked so much about 2010 when that was kind of like the ugly win of the series when you've had some amazing wins, right? I mean, 2000 in overtime, 2001 SEC championship was really a program-defining win. 06 up in Neyland, Jamarcus overcame, I think, 3 interceptions in that game to lead the game-winning drive. After Robert Meacham scored to put Tennessee ahead. 2007 with Ryan Perrilloux, the Have a Great Day game when LSU punched its ticket to the national championship game. So some great games. 2010 is mixed in there, but Craig Duga, all right, for real, how do we plan food for tomorrow? Breakfast on the bocce grill while the smoker is rolling for post-game. Also, when is the best time to have the first pour, kickoff, or pregame? I just say do your normal routine. Like whatever you normally do in the morning, just do that. If you're cooking for dinner, if you're smoking something for dinner, do that and it'll be ready after the game. And if you usually wake up and get to your tailgate spot at 9 or at your house or whatever, and you drink a beer or have old fashioned or something like that, do that. Just do what you do. Paul Lucy, good morning. Dalton, James, Pishon. Drink through the night, you cowards. Just missed. As always, shout out to Brock, Banners Orthopedic Clinic and Hudco Roofing. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. Big shout out, of course, the Brock Foundation offers the Friday night clinic, which they've done for 30 years. It allows high school athletes during football, any that have an injury, to get checked out on Friday night by an orthopedist for free over at Brock. So a great service that they've offered literally for like 30 years now. The Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic on Bluebonnet near Perkins. And of course, Hudco Roofing, not far from Brock. Well, our offices are actually not far from Brock on Perkins, but also from Bowie Outfitters, where we will be today from 11 to 2. I'll have to cut out a little early, candidly, because I'll have to get back to the station for the show. But so we will 11 to 2, Bowie Outfitters. Come get some gumbo from Hot Rods Creole. Someone's going to win a $250 Bowie gift card. Someone's going to win an autographed Patrick Queen football. You'll see the Hudco tent, swooper flags, trailer all out there. Come hang out, shop at Bowie. I'm sure they'll have great specials. Come see Lee and all the guys over there. And we can talk some roofs. All right. Shane O'Mac, good morning. Go Tigers, who dat for all you NOLA peeps. Gretna Fest is this weekend. Brett Young on stage. Okay, tomorrow night. Tim Gotro. Trevor, you need to fake an injury about 10:30. Patrick Ramos, good morning. How about that T-Bob hype video? Yep. Jared Espry, morning, Matt. What's your take on Brian Kelly press conference yesterday? Didn't say a ton. He did crack a few jokes because he cracks a few jokes in every press conference. Yeah, I mean, nothing really of note, I don't think. Landon Miller, Eric Bertrand. Let's see, Jason Curious. The movie crew will be filming at the game tomorrow, but they want everyone to wear pink. Won't that look silly if the movie's about LSU? Good question. I didn't know they wanted everybody to wear pink, and I don't think everybody's going to wear pink. Joseph Feltwell, forgot to ask, does a player placed on IR get to come back this week for the Saints? Preseason IR? I feel like I should know that. I think it is week 5. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anyone who was placed on IR. Yeah, I mean, I know players can return from IR after 4 games, but I'm trying not to confuse that with the preseason IR and if you go on IR during the season. But I'm pretty sure it would be 4 games, so you would be able to return. I don't know that the Saints have anybody that was on IR preseason that's designated to return. Dale Broussard, Josh in his show. That line is freaky. Can Tennessee stop anyone? I mean, I think they beat like Akron 63-3, so they stopped Akron. And they held Pitt. I think that was a game I think Pitt scored in the 20s. I mean, you'd have to define stop anyone. Ball State was 59-10. Yeah, Akron was 63-6. So Pitt was 34-27, and Florida was 38-33. I mean, that's your ticket, right? I mean, if you're going to beat Tennessee, it's going to be a game like that, just with the score reverse, where you win 38-33 or 34-27. I think that's your ticket. All right. YouTube, smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. Thank you so much. Please subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Is it too late to wish Sean Payton goes back to coaching? Wouldn't we get a first-round pick? Maybe, Sean. I've assumed largely that the compensation for Payton would be what Tampa gave up to get Gruden, which was actually 2 1s. But there's people in NFL circles who don't believe the compensation will be that much because Sean Payton is not currently active. So, like I heard it, one person in NFL circles suggested it would be like a 2nd-round pick, which that would not be good. You're fun to say, let's see, Waves. Hope the Saints have a more entertaining Thursday night game. We'll find out next week, right? The Saints going to the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. Leandro Lewis, Jeff Crow, can our D-line create the pressure needed to help the back 7? That's how Tennessee O-line has been preventing sacks and pressures. And to get rid of the ball quickly, and Hendon Hooker's a good athlete. But yeah, I mean, I think so. I think the bigger question, Jeff, is if you need to bring pressure with numbers, can your defensive backs win one-on-ones, and can they tackle? James, good morning. How will LSU secondary match up versus Tennessee wide receivers? That's the game. In my opinion, James, that's the game. Because we haven't seen that yet. We've seen LSU face just about everything offensively except that. Where it's, and I think I've said it this way this week, if I had Stingley and Ricks and McLaughlin, I'm good. Like, I like my guys. I like my guys better than yours. So I can put my guys on an island and say, yeah, I think my guys are going to win. With Jarquin Converse, Colby Richardson, Mekhi Garner, I don't know. I don't know. Sage Ryan, I don't know. I don't know if my guys are better than Brew McCoy. You know, is Jared Bernard Converse better than Brew McCoy? Probably not. We'll see. Pat Huseman, is it in your opinion that Matt House uses this year as a stepping stone to jump back to the NFL? No, Pat, listen to me. The reason Matt House left the NFL is because he wants to be a college head coach. So his better path to that was as a college DC at a place like LSU rather than an NFL linebackers coach. I mean, how many times do NFL linebackers coach get hired to be head coaches in college football? They don't. College DCs do. So you could look and go, oh, Dave Aranda went from LSU DC to Baylor, right? I mean, that's what he's looking at. So that's his next step. Eric, let's see, my old man is a Broncos fan. I had a blast making fun of the Broncos last night. Uncle Houdat, I'm ready for this game. Matt, I feel LSU will win by 3. We're going to get the passing game together. Run game will make strides. Defense will dominate. Hope you're right. Why are so many schools firing their coaches early in the season? Yeah, Brad, I mean, honestly, the reason is because when you if you're going to pay a big buyout anyway, they look at it like it gives you the opportunity to start vetting candidates now, because it becomes, if you start making calls while you have a coach employed and that leaks, then that becomes a very negative, toxic situation, an embarrassing situation publicly. If you fire your coach mid-season, it gives you the cover to go start a search and do so very freely and openly. And you may not be able to talk to coaches directly while they're coaching another team, but you can start talking to agents and representatives and getting your list together and start vetting who may have interest and what it will cost and that sort of thing. So you narrow your list, so when you need to go, you make a decision, you sprint to the finish instead of starting the process after Thanksgiving. Tiger Mike 7, morning Matt. Is the new video indicative of why T-Bob is not invited over to the Scone household more? Afraid for TV and nice furniture. Yes, he does break a chair and use a sledgehammer to smash a TV. Brian Williams, Matt, I was nervous about the Mississippi State game. I was nervous about the Auburn game. It's odd I'm not nervous about the Tennessee game. I don't know. You would have to answer why. Damon Gilmore, Jarrett Lassane, Tyree Love. Awful NFL game last night. It was indeed. Kevin Williams, how many times has Tom Brady had a former LSU Tigers a running back for a Super Bowl win? So his first 3 were with Falk, right? Don't believe Hill won. Jeremy did not win a Super Bowl. I think that might have been the year they lost to Philly. I think he got hurt that year too. I don't remember. And then Ridley, did Ridley win one? I thought Ridley won at Pittsburgh. No, that can't be right. No, Ridley didn't win at Pittsburgh. Did Ridley win one with New England? Okay, Ridley did win one. 49. Okay. Oh, Ridley was on the team in 2011 that lost to the Giants. Huh. I can't remember if Falk won 3 or 4. Let me see. Falk won 3. So Falk won 3 and Ridley won 1. Oh, and then Fournette. So 5 of the 7. Yeah. Let's see. Kyle Milliken, is Whiskey and Wine going to be at like 2? Probably 2:30. The game finishes at 2:30. 11 a.m. 3.5 hour game. 2:30 ish. Jared Espray seems like he thinks his team is going to cut some. Or his teammate good enough to beat the Vols. Beard Gang, who dat? Saints by 10 on Sunday. God, I hope you're right. Reed Rule, Dellinger back this week. Yes, he is going to. Kelly said he is going to play. He's practiced all week. He has a cast on his left hand, but he's going to play. Joseph Feltwell, Penning, and Malcolm Roach was on preseason IR. Right, but they're not ready to return. Like, we knew. So, Joseph, like, we knew Penning was going to be, like, mid-season, like 8 or 9 weeks. So, my apologies. Should have clarified there. I'm sorry. I mean, I know there were players that went on IR. I just didn't think there were players on IR that were ready to return now, was my point. Michael Thacker, every team plays their worst game of the year at some point. Was ours Florida State or Auburn? We'll see. I mean, maybe. Hope so. If it was, and, you know, you split those games, we'll see. T-Bob went full Michael Scott. I say, I do declare. What's the rooster? The cartoon rooster. Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say, I do declare. Let's see. YouTube, smash that like button. Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Ryan, Amanda Guidry, good morning. Sean Berthelot, did y'all hear about the movie called The Mascot? Yeah, we talked about it yesterday on AFR. We actually talked about it whenever they announced it was coming. But they will be filming in Tiger Stadium. The concept is it's a blue chip recruit, gets kicked off the team and becomes the mascot. So, and it's not a fictional school either. It's LSU. I mean, you know, when Everybody's All-American was filmed at LSU, it was the fictional University of Louisiana. When Pitch Perfect was filmed at LSU, it was like Barton or something like that, Barton Universities. But it was a fictional school. Like, this is actually LSU. They're using the marks and all that sorts of the logos, the names, everything. Let's see, Dalton, now that our O-line is half decent, if Jaden doesn't open his passing game up, do you see us going to a dual quarterback system? No. Tavanka De Silva, good morning. I love this game time. 9 p.m. in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Mac McGuire, good morning. Nicholas Cantrell, Chris Keller, Pelicans opening night tonight. Reagan Lee, you want to see Daniels take some shots in tight windows, be aggressive. Receivers are good. Let them make plays. I'm surprised T-Bob made it through the hype video. I was saying, let's go. Let's go, dude. You got to add the dude at the end. Let's go, dude. He probably said that when they asked him to do the narration. Eric Gullett, good morning. Watch the hype video. T-Bob hit it out the park. They did a great job. And I think Cody Worsham writes the scripts, and he's super talented. And he did a really good job with that as well. Philip Streva, morning, 31-27 LSU. Honestly, Philip, so I'll say this because the pod's already published. So I did publish LSU Daily. Recorded it last night, so it went live this morning at 6 a.m. And that was my final score, was 31-27 Tennessee. I did pick Tennessee, 31-27, that exact score. Randy Smith, can't spell citrus without UT. Vols 34, LSU 15. T-Bob's got a face for radio. Randy, I did pick Tennessee to win. I 34-15. I would be surprised if it gets to be a 3-score game. I think we have sort of overreacted to LSU's pass offense last week. I think we've seen them be good at times this year. Certainly at ends of halves and when they go tempo, which I think is something that will hurt this Tennessee defense. And LSU will have plays to be made. You watch Anthony Richardson throw for 455 or whatever it was against Tennessee. There's going to be plays to be made, and this will be the best defense Tennessee faces. And it's still Tiger Stadium, and I think it'll be a great crowd. So, Randy, I mean, I'm guessing you're a Tennessee fan. But I don't know. Well, maybe not, because I don't know why you would say you can't spell citrus without UT. And then why you would insult T-Bob. But 34-15 would surprise me. It would very much surprise me if LSU lost this game like it was that one-sided. Logan McCracken, Brian Arsenault, anyone looking for 4 tickets, message me. Richard Tilley Sr., good morning. Keep Junior in line today. I mean, nobody keeping him in line. That, of course, would be Richard Tilley, our fearless leader at Hudco Roofing. Caleb Clark, good morning. Stephen Beach, glad T-Bob was able to narrate the hype video. Renee Marks, how will our O-line do against Tennessee's D-line? That's a good question, Renee. Tennessee's defense. So Tennessee will play 11 or 12 guys on their defensive line. Like they rotate in waves, in large part because they're on the field for so much of the game because the offense goes so fast. And one of the things about Tennessee is, I mean, they are kind of an all or nothing defense. I mean, they have a high. I referenced just a minute ago that Bill Connolly piece. Hang on one second. Let me get back to it. I'll put some numbers behind that for you. One second. Here we go. Here it is. So here you go. This was the take of this what you will. Here you go. Tennessee is 8th in stuff rate in the country. So that's run plays stopped at or behind the line. 11th in blitzes per drop back. 2nd in pressure rate. So they're a defense that really gets after you, but they also give up big plays. Like that's the result, right? It's high risk, high reward. And when you go kaboom, it's Anthony Richardson throws for 454 yards, right? Hang on one second, y'all. I'll be right back. Okay, my apologies. Drew does not have school today, so they're off for their fall break today and Monday. So go a little longer here. When he wakes up, we'll go run some errands, get ready for our Hudco tailgate party. Again, if you're just jumping aboard, remember today Hudco tailgate party at Bowie on Perkins, 11 to 2. Come get some free gumbo, grab you a water, a cold beer, whatever you want. Shop at Bowie, hang out there. Come meet our Hudco crew. I'll be there. Terrio will be there. Richard Tilley will be there. Come meet our whole Hudco crew. Get you a Hudco hat. Anybody wants a Hudco hat? We'll have plenty of them. So hope to see a lot of y'all there today, 11 to 2 over at Bowie Outfitter. Bowie Outfitters. So anyway, so Tennessee, high risk, high reward defense. Tons of pressure, but they give up big plays as a result. Kerry Hughes, hint on celebrity picker. So, not a joke. Terrio does have the celebrity guest picker for today. I was literally sitting there last Friday when he confirmed it. And it's not someone that, it's someone that I know. I know who they are. I can't say I know a ton about, but Terrio is super geeked. Like this might be his favorite celebrity guest picker yet. I mean, this people has like millions of followers on social media, like big name, big deal. With an LSU tie. I'll put it to you that way, Kerry. It's not a Tennessee tie. It's an LSU tie. Tim Forshey, morning, Matt. I think you're absolutely right on with the prediction. Great interview with Coach Burrow yesterday. Yeah, if y'all missed it, I had Jimmy Burrow yesterday on AFR. So Joe Burrow, they launched the Joe Burrow Foundation this week. It got a ton of publicity, obviously because Joe, with the 30 seconds or so during his Heisman speech, when he mentioned, the food bank in Ohio, they're in Athens. I think Jimmy Burrow told me they've raised like $1.8 million. They still have $1.8 million in that Burrow fund from that, which is incredible. But they launched the foundation with a very broad mission, essentially just to help people in need. And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to pay for expenses for 20 families with kids who are facing with mental disorders. So joeburrow.org is the website, joeburrow.org. I made a donation yesterday. I would encourage anybody to. So, whenever I do this stuff, I would never encourage you to do something that I myself wouldn't do. So I did make a donation, and if you want to as well, would encourage it, joeburrow.org. Let me see any more. No, okay, hold on. So trivia said Joseph Adai. So the question was about running backs with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Joseph Addai was with the Colts when he won it with Payton. So, I mean, there are more running backs that have won a Super Bowl, but it was, I mean, Justin Vincent technically won one with Pittsburgh. It was the starter, but he was on Pittsburgh's team when they won it in '05. But yeah, but no, the question was about running backs with Tom. Addai was with the Patriots. Joe Addai was with the Patriots? Oh, I totally forgot that. Huh. Well, I mean, if you're on the practice squad, you still get a ring. But it does not designate him here as a champion. Maybe he got cut. Failed his physical at the start of training camp and was released. So he didn't play the season with him. That's why. Kevin Williams leaving Little Rock now. Has everyone forgot about the baseball game tonight? This team will be like watching the Yankees. Kevin, I'll tell you this. I got a call last night around, I don't know, a little before 9 o'clock. And it was a buddy of mine who's a scout. So he's talking about LSU fall baseball, by the way. Buddy of mine called me, who's a long-time scout. And I knew why he was calling me. He was calling me because he was leaving the box and was calling to tell me about the game. So I pick up the phone. I didn't even say hello. I said, "Are we winning the Natty?" He goes, "Yup." He said, "In 27 years of scouting, that is the most talent I've ever seen on a college field." How about that? He said it's ridiculous. The biggest problem they're going to have is a lot of really talented guys. He said the pitching coach is the best pitching coach he's ever seen. The guy they brought in from, Wes Johnson, they brought in from the Twins, which honestly, y'all, that's the same thing Skip Bertman told us on air a couple of weeks ago. He said he's the best pitching coach I've ever talked to. The combination of the feel, the old school feel, and the new age using technology and everything, he said he's the best he's ever talked to. So that's now Skip Bertman who said it, and one of the most respected scouts that I know who said that. They said they've already turned, he said, this scout told me, and a lot of people may not understand this, how like area scouts ultimately make the recommendation for what players the organization should draft, right? So a lot of times it's actually the scout who's drafting the player, I know that sounds weird, but it is true in baseball. And he said Grant Taylor's today. If the draft was today, Grant Taylor would be a second-round pick. I mean, that was Grant Taylor who was like flip-flopping in the Sunday role last year. Is he a reliever? Said, no, he's a second-round pick today. Said he was throwing a cutter at 93. And was topping out at 97 yesterday. The freshman kid from Mississippi, whose name escapes me right now, said he hit 99 on the gun yesterday. Skeens was topping out at 98. That's the Air Force transfer. He's a two-way player. Y'all, I know it's Football Friday, but this LSU baseball team is going to be what this guy told me. He said this is Tennessee 2.0, but better. Like what Tennessee was last year. He said, but this is a more talented team than Tennessee was last year. How about expectations, right? We're nothing like tempering expectations. Mark Bork, good morning. Guess LSU captains will be fired. Yeah, man. How about Faneca, Todd McClure, Ridley? Yeah, and I'm forgetting one. It's not in front of me right now. I know there's somebody else. Let's see. Cajunomics, I wanted Russell Wilson in New Orleans. Imagine if New Orleans had given away those picks in $240 million. I did too. I wanted Russell Wilson. Josh Geraldo, a lot of balls left the yard in the baseball scrimmage yesterday. He hit 7 homers. Chance Babin, first half gaffes against Auburn are great teaching points for this week. Chance, but I could say the same thing about a lot of the gaffes against Florida State. Some of them they fixed, some of them they didn't. So we'll see. We got to play clean. Jared Esprit, Randall Alfrach. Good morning, Matt. I think if we went to Bama last year and darn near beat them, we could definitely beat Tennessee at home. The one thing I'll tell you, Randall, is last year, Bama was a 26-point favorite over LSU. Bama probably let their guard down a little bit in that game, which happens. and LSU got up. And LSU still had athletes. Remember, LSU had 10 players drafted off of last year's team. So LSU had athletes. They were just poorly coached. They got up and played a strong game last year, as opposed to quitting against Kentucky and Ole Miss in some of those games. This LSU team is not as talented as last year. Like, they ain't going to have 10 guys drafted off this team. And Tennessee is coming off the bye, so Tennessee's had an extra week to prepare, get healthy, and LSU had to go play at Auburn last week, physical game, and now you turn right back around and play again. There's like the dynamics of the circumstance of where it falls on the schedule. It does not favor LSU. And then it's 11 a.m. It's not what and what, Randall. Like the circumstantial evidence of this game leans Tennessee, not LSU. Brett DeGrow, MLB playoffs start tonight. Stick with my preseason pick, Jays, Braves, chop on back-to-back. Yeah, Brett, honestly, so I picked Toronto to win the division, but the Yankees to win the World Series. I did pick a Yankees-Braves World Series, which I think we'll see. Shaq, guest pick, it is not Shaq, although we've had Shaq in the past. Carlton Cisco, referring to baseball. Yep. Shaq hates Matt. Shaq does not hate me, but that was a funny bit. We played that. Well, it wasn't really a bit, but this is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt. Hudson Jeter, what is the Scone pick of the week? I haven't looked at betting lines yet. I usually do that on Friday when I start to kind of dive into the lines and spreads and different things like that. I don't mind looking real quick and telling you if there's anything that jumps off the page at me. A bunch of games tonight. Michigan, Indiana. Michigan 22.5 on the road. Wow. TCU 6.5 over Kansas. I would probably pick TCU to win and cover. But now let's see. Arkansas, Mississippi State. I'm not going to touch that one. KJ Jefferson out. I'm not interested. Missouri, Florida, Texas, OU. 8.5 is a lot for Texas to lay against OU. Still a rivalry game. I think OU plays better. Dylan Gabriel obviously is the big question in that game. Boy. Utah 3.5 against UCLA. That's interesting. It's a 2:30 Fox game. Might take UCLA. Are you going to give me UCLA and 3.5 points at home in a matchup like that? Veteran quarterback, good coach. That's tempting. UCLA is really tempting. I had UCLA last week against Washington. A lot of people were on Washington. I had UCLA and it whitewashed them. Can you get up 2 weeks in a row? Good question. Wisconsin favored by 10.5 with an interim head coach. Interesting. On the road. Tells how bad Northwestern is. Boy, oh boy, there is not a lot that I really like on this schedule this week. Not a ton that pops. How about BYU Notre Dame night game on NBC? Well, there is not a lot that I love on that slate. Just first glance at it. Chance Babin, permission to talk baseball anytime. Gregory Gordy, Alex Toss saying Tennessee plays Bama next week. LSU could be a trap game. Now, that's true, Alex. That is one point where you could be in a look-ahead spot. But for Tennessee, when you're coming off a bye, it's hard to look at LSU going into Baton Rouge as a look-ahead spot. I said look, that was one of the reasons last week that I like Mississippi State to beat A&M. That was my lock of the week, was Mississippi State over A&M. They blew them out. Because you had A&M coming off back-to-back really emotional wins. They had their game in Starkville, and then that they're looking ahead to a game at Bama, which everyone's talked about for months and months and months now, really for a year. And in between, you get this sleepy little 3 o'clock kickoff in Starkville where they were walking into a hornet's nest. And Mike Leach has done well against Texas A&M. So last week, that was my lock, was Mississippi State. So there is truth to the look-ahead spot for sure. But boy, it's hard. It's hard to think that if you're Tennessee, you overlook LSU and Baton Rouge. All right, let's see, Dalton. It's Olivia. It is not Olivia Dunn. It is a male and not an athlete. Bubba Smith, good morning. Let's go in the T-Bob voice. Eric Billett, what's Drew's favorite breakfast? Eric, Drew is tube fed, so he doesn't he doesn't really eat orally. He goes to feeding therapy to try to get him to learn to eat. So one day, hopefully, we can ditch the feeding tube. But he's tube fed, so he has a little port in his stomach that we hook an extension up to, and then there's a pump which we put his his Pediasure in this bag which connects to the pump, and then it feeds him over about an hour. So, all right, I think we're just about done, y'all. How about that? Blanche Hudson. I am able to watch this on the Southwest Wi-Fi landing in Chicago. I love it, man. That's awesome. Thanks so much for being there. Captain Karate Mormat, what are your starters in the secondary tomorrow? I'm sticking with the Arkansas transfers at safety with Fouché and Brooks. I'm going with Jarpinar Converse and Colby Richardson at corner, and rotate Mekhi Gardner in. And then I think Sage Ryan is my nickel, unless you want to put Gardner in at the nickel. But I think those are my guys. See how it goes. All right, y'all. I think we're done. YouTube, please smash that like button. Subscribe up to the channel if you've not done so yet. Facebook, please like the page, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all as always for being here. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedic, go to Brock. Remember, the free Friday night clinic is open tonight as it has been for 30 years. Brock Foundation does awesome work where they offer free medical evaluations for any high school football player on Friday nights if they get injured in their game. So shout out to Brock, and of course Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. 11 to 2 today. We will be, me, Terrio, Tilly, the whole Hudco gang. We will be at Bowie Outfitters for the Hudco tailgate. Totally free to come on by, get you some free gumbo from Hot Rods Creole. We'll have waters and beers, and should be a good time. Someone's winning a $250 Bowie gift card. Someone's winning an autographed Patrick Queen football. So y'all come out, and it's an LSU football, by the way. So y'all come out and see us. Yeah, don't worry, Eric. No sweat, dude. Don't apologize. No worries at all. No worries at all. Craig Straub, go Pels. Yes, sir. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Hope to see many of y'all at Bowie today. LSU Daily is already live, so please check out the podcast. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe up. LSU Daily, however you get your pods. And AFR3. Peace. We'll see you.